This is LMU I'm Scott Orland, back again with head men's basketball coach Josh Schertz. Coach, want to catch up with you again with our weekly report here. Let's look back at last night. Another wire-to-wire victory, your third straight, 96-64 over Mars Hill. Shoot 58%, put 5 guys in double figures. It was overall, I think, a night you were probably pretty happy about.
I think so. I thought, for the most part, we came out and did some good things. I thought offensively, we shared the ball well, got the ball, got open shots, kind of took what the defense gave us. I thought we came out really aggressive early. I thought as the half went on, we had some slippage from an execution standpoint. Our second group ball stuck a little bit too much. We didn't get as good a ball movement as we had with our first group. And then I thought, second half, I think we shot like 68%, I think, in the second half. We made shots. We kind of traded buckets. I think they scored 22 in the first half, and they scored 42 in the second half. So, I think obviously there was things from a defensive standpoint that we need to do better. We foul way too much, and I thought our energy level wasn't as good in the second half. But we have to learn to kind of continue to play and not let the scoreboard dictate our energy, effort, etc. So overall, like I said, I think they've done a pretty nice job. You go on the road, and I think Rick's got a good team down there at Mars Hill, and you win a game by 32. It's you did a lot of good things. Obviously, from my end, I think there's still things we can do better, and certainly to clean up some areas on both sides of the ball. But I don't think any coach in the country at this point doesn't feel the same way.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously we've talked about you as a coach. You're a perfectionist. You're always going to look at the things the possessions that don't go right instead of the possessions that do. But you look at it, 17-game winning streak now. You've won 9 straight by double digits, and then you've also now got an even funner stat for a guy like me. 155 straight minutes you haven't trailed in the game, so obviously you're doing something right. You look back to that Queens game on Saturday, I think that anybody who's seen all of our games played would say that might be our most impressive performance of the season. 32-point win, 101-69 over the Queens Royals, who we thought coming to that game was going to be somebody that matched up well with us.
Yeah, I thought, certainly on Saturday, we probably played about as well as we could play. I told Bart that after the game, we probably hit them with our best shot, and I think that was one thing this team has done a pretty good job of is in the games where you would think your best is needed. I thought Newberry at home, Queens at home, where you got 2 teams that are certainly right now contenders for the league championship. We came out and played at a really high level. So that's a credit to our guys and their focus. Obviously we knew coming to the game Queens is really talented. They've got good pieces. They're very well coached. They're I know we covered that. They were I think second in the league in field goal offense, second in the league in field goal defense. Good on both sides of the ball, and I thought we made shots, we shared the ball. I thought we did a really good job defensively on them. And so it was one of those performances where everything, we played about as well as we could play. I'm sure they probably didn't play as well as they're capable of, and so I've been on the receiving side of those, and not a whole lot of fun. But when you do play like that against a team you have a lot of respect for, it makes for a really satisfying win, because those are usually the most satisfying, when you go and play an opponent that you have tremendous respect for and you play really well and you have success. I think as a coach and as players, those are the most satisfying victories.
And something I want to talk about is just we'd always talk about how every team is different, and it seems like we've kind of got an idea of this team's identity now at this point, 17 games in. And unselfish play is one of the ways I would characterize this team, and I think that goes a lot with obviously the characteristics of a team are formed by its leaders, and on our me and Adam's show this on Monday, we had talked about how Zoe, there's different things that gets guys going. Zoe seems like he gets going by setting up his teammate, and then you got a lot of guys like Dorian. Dorian is a great passer too, a willing passer. Keenan is maybe a guy who doesn't care at all about stats. He just wants to win. And it just seems like a characteristic at this point now, full form, just unselfishness. 20 assists on 37 field goals against Queens. You get 16 on 32 last night. Is that something that you would kind of attribute to the success?
Oh, no doubt. I think offensively, there's a lot of ways to get to it, but the one thing we talk to our guys all the time about is getting open shots, playing, obviously making plays for one another. You have to have guys, there's different ways to get to that and how you play or what you run. You look at a guy like Lorenzo and his, really proud of him because he's evolved into that. He was not a guy, his natural instinct is to go score and put his shoulders down and go, and he's really a unique point guard in the sense that he can get his own shot anytime he wants. If Lorenzo wanted to go shoot 50 shots a game, he literally probably could, because he can get in the lane and get to a decent place. Not saying that they would all go in or all be good shots, but he could get a shot off, a decent look, probably 50 times a game. So for him to find that balance between scoring and playmaking and setting up his teammates is something he's really worked hard on. A guy like Dorian just has a tremendous feel for the game. It's a natural thing to him. He sees the floor and sees plays one step ahead. You can't teach that. He just has that naturally. So there's different ways to it. I think offensively, and defensively, they're an unselfish group. It's one of the things that I think has to be in place for teams to be really good. We always tell our guys, I think there's three characteristics of all great teams in basketball. They're committed, which means they come in and they do their work. They're great defensively, and they're unselfish offensively. And offense, you can't control shots going in or whatever. What you can control is quality of shot. And these guys do a great job of going from good to great. They give up good shots to get great. A lot of times you see a guy drive it, and he may have a layup, but he makes the extra pass for a dunk, instead of taking a contested layup, where a guy have a guy close him out on the three, and he'll make the one more and give up a good shot to get a great shot. And they do that for one another. It goes back to, and you and I talked about this in the beginning of the season, was that we thought we had a group that had really good fiber, and by fiber, that's kind of the insides of your team, the character and the mindset and obviously kind of who they are as people of our team. And it doesn't guarantee you anything. You could have great fiber and win 2 games a year, but with the talent and the fiber we thought we had, it gives you the best chance to be successful. And so I'm proud of them. They come in every day. They're definitely committed. And they're definitely unselfish on the offensive side of the ball. So hopefully it continues. But they've been a great group so far.
And the other big news this week is that the Rail Splitters moved to number 1 in the Division II media poll. West Liberty losing, they had been number 1 for most of the entire year in Division II media poll and the entire year in the NABC poll. Not something we want to really talk about a whole lot, but me and you talked about it off camera a whole lot about. We're kept at number 2 in the NABC poll, received 9 of the 16 first place votes. Also, first off, just talk about the honor. I mean, I know it's not something that really matters to you philosophically, but moving to number 1 in Division II media poll, but then also maybe talk about what happened in the NABC poll.
Well, I think certainly it is an honor, and it's anytime you get to be a part of a team that's number 1 in the country and can say that, I think that's something that you take with you kind of the rest of your life. Playing a team that was ranked number 1 nationally, so I think that's very cool for our guys and for the staff. I do think, and I'll probably hit this with 2 points. One, on the NABC poll. And I think, like anything that has human element, there's biases, and certainly I could make a long case, which I won't, on some, I think, from the NABC standpoint, biases against LMU, and that's fine. That at the end of the day, I think when you get caught up in thinking about what you deserve, I think that's kind of makes you soft, and I do think that whatever you earn between the lines will be there for you at the end. And you have to go in, have great days, and whatever at the end you earn, and you have to earn it between the lines, it'll be there, and thinking about what you may or may not deserve. So you can make a case for us or Indianapolis to be number one. I think both teams have a great case for it. The thing I would be being disingenuous if it didn't bother me that from my standpoint we had more first place votes than Indianapolis in the NABC poll, which means in order to finish second, people had to vote us, third, fourth, fifth, or whatever nationally. That would be the part that I would say, would be a little bit irking as a coach. Not that Indianapolis is number one, because they have had a great season, they have a great program. I think you'd be hard pressed right now to make an argument that if we're not one, we're two, or they're one, we're one, they're two. So that would be my argument there. But this is the next point on rankings. When you look at rankings, a lot of it is based on what other teams do. We start off the season 23rd in the NABC poll. So when you start worrying about what's going on with other teams, and if they lose, and if all that stuff happens, then you really broaden your focus. And with my guys, and as a coach, you want to narrow your focus, and you want it to be about what you can control, which is how well you prepare, how well you practice, and how well you perform between the lines. And you believe if you do those things at a high level that you'll get what you earn at the very end. And so we don't want to be concerned with the league race is the same boat. We're not concerned with things we can't control, and we try not to worry about who lost. Certainly I know where the standings are, but again, it's just like that. When you're affected by things that happen to other teams, you let that affect you. You're broadening your focus, and a lot of times that takes your focus off what's important, which is only really how you're preparing, how you're practicing, and how you're performing, and trying to be the very best team you can be.
Well, number one, whether we're number one or number two, the focus obviously.
We're 1.5 right now.
So. We 1.5. We'll call it 1.5, and whether we are, the focus for you as always is looking ahead now. Your next game up, next man up is Catawba. You've got an interesting team this year in that they've got a new coach for the first time in a long time. They brought in the longtime assistant in Newberry. And they've seen some results. They've seen some interesting results. They're scoring 80 points a game. They got KJ Arrington, who's one of the best scorers in the league. Also, he's also right there at double-double. He's at 18 points a game, about 8 rebounds a game. So just talk about the challenge you have with Catawba on Saturday.
Well, it's really going to be a challenge. I think when you look at Rob Perrin took over for Jim Baker. Jim did an incredible job at Catawba over 20 years. 9 NCAA tournaments and won 60-some% of his games, and was really a tremendous basketball coach. And Rob steps into that role. And I've known Rob for a long time, back, I don't know, maybe 15 years or so. So, when Rob got the job, he's a guy that's an incredible worker. I think he's going to do a great job at Catawba, building on what Jim did there. You look at their team. They have, like you mentioned, Kawan Arrington, who's certainly a first-team All-League guy. They have Jaron Morrison, who I think would be the freshman of the year in the league right now, without question. They've got a really talented young team. They're a team that has no seniors. They're a team that is explosive offensively. I think they're, like you said, average about 81 points a game. They have put up 100 numerous times. They play small. They spread the floor. Arrington, really, who's a kind of a 2-3, plays the 4 for them some. They play 4 guards around a big. They can play traditional with 2 bigs. They do a nice job of kind of mixing defense, but they're very athletic. They create a lot of mismatch problems. They're terrific off the bounce. They'll certainly come in here, and we'll have to be prepared in terms of to guard them and do a great job of kind of keeping them out of the lane, keeping them making them play 5-on-5 and taking away transition. And and then defensively, they'll mix it up a little bit, but they're very aggressive defensively as well. They do a great job stealing the ball, and like I said, young, very talented, seem to play with great energy. Rob's done a terrific job with them. You can watch them play and see that he's going to, obviously they're very good right now, and the future of Catawba is incredibly bright. Like I said, because Arrington, Morrison, Jamel Taylor. I mean, they got a point guard that went down. Who was averaging 15 a game. Was a sophomore. I mean, they just got some really good young pieces. They're going to be tough to handle for us on Saturday, and certainly down the line as a league standpoint the rest of the way through.
Well, we look forward to seeing you on Saturday. Your team take to the court trying to go to 18-0. Coach, good luck.
Thanks. Appreciate it, Scott.